be honest, they're either hoaxes in my opinion, or they're ambiguous. This is the real thing. And secondly, based on the geology and analysis that has been done there by the Indonesian geological team that is exploring and studying it, I'm convinced that does go back to the end of the last ice age.
Now we're looking at one of your pictures right now that you took. This is the first one that we were talking about before we got going here. It appears to be a kind of a hill covered with a bunch of rather sharply shaped rocks, is the best way I can describe it at this point.
Exactly, but let me explain what we're looking at, because if you're not a geologist, it looks essentially like a pile of rubble, as you say, sort of a bunch of sharply shaped rocks, that type of thing. But it's actually very diagnostic to myself as a geologist that this is not how these rocks would normally occur. What we have in Java are lots and lots of volcanoes. It's one of the most volcanic terrains known in modern times. I think they say that Indonesia itself has more volcanoes than any other modern country. So you have lots of volcanic activity. What we're looking at are volcanic rocks, specifically andesite, what is known as andesite. And these rocks often form, and this was the case at Gunung Padang, they form what are known as columnar joints. Now these columnar joints, it's a matter of how the lava flows and then crystallizes, cools and crystallizes. People may be familiar with the concept of columnar joints because there are some very famous examples. Like, the thing about these joints is they look all tightly packed together. They must have spent an incredible amount of time and energy pulling these columns apart along the natural joints, along the natural fractures, and then they use them as the building material. So this is very, it's intelligent to work with nature like that. Essentially half the quarrying has been done for you by nature, if you would, and it gives you a lot of sort of long blocks of rock, which weigh hundreds of pounds apiece. So these are not easy to move around. It takes a lot of work to move them around, but you could think of it as essentially logs, stone logs that they now had to work with, and then they use these to erect the constructions that we see at Gunung Padang. They use them sort of like building a log cabin, if you would. They use them horizontally. They arrange them to build structures, and the way they're arranged, especially the horizontal aspects interlocking together, this does not occur in nature. So they were building it, using the natural rock, but rearranging these rocks. And this is not the only place where we see this type of construction. The famous example that some people may be familiar with is in Micronesia, Nan Madol, where the same type of structures crudely, when I say crudely, analogously were built using columnar joints in a basaltic rock, and then taking those chunks of rock that naturally occur vertically, pulling them apart, rearranging them horizontally to build structure.
Once hidden amidst the lush landscapes of West Java in Indonesia lay the enigmatic Gunung Padang, a site shrouded in ancient mystery and steeped in legend. This site has been brought to the forefront of mainstream media due to claims that it is the oldest man-made pyramid on Earth, with a date of 27,000 years old being attributed to it. This date is controversial and is disputed to this day. This video will highlight the noteworthy elements of Gunung Padang without presenting any opinion on whether or not the date is right. I'll just outline what has been said about it, and you can make your own mind up as to whether or not this is a 27,000-year-old pyramid. Nestled in West Java in Indonesia, Gunung Padang is a canvas of history, etched with the imprints of a time long gone. It was adorned with a series of 5 majestic terraces, each a step back into a forgotten era. These terraces, ranging from rectangular to trapezoidal shapes, ascended the hillside, getting progressively smaller as they reached skyward. Enclosed by formidable stone walls, they were connected by a grand staircase of 370 andesite steps, a daunting climb that rose about 95 metres towards the heavens. The Sundanese people local to this land revered this place, believing it to be the remnants of King Siliwangi's audacious attempt to build a palace in a single night. It's important to note that Indonesia was a very different place when sea levels were lower. It was part of a land known as Sunderland. Gunung Padang has been built upon an extinct volcano. It has had adjustments made to it at least 4 times throughout its long history. The first built the pyramid, the second wrapped it in andesite columns, the third added parallel layers of stone columns, and finally the fourth led to the entire pyramid being covered in soil, which appears to have been an attempt to hide this incredible structure. Ground-penetrating radar scans have shown a large tunnel leading far into the earth. The chamber inside is yet to be explored for some strange reason, and the cement found at the site is proof of advanced technology as it is a mixture of clay, iron, and silica. The cement contained up to 45% iron, and if the date of 27,000 years old holds true, this means iron was being utilised by this civilization 18,000 years before the Iron Age. Yet Gunung Padang's story was not without its controversies. In 2014, an excavation project was abruptly halted, mired in criticism for its methodology. Amidst these debates, archaeologists attempted to piece together the site's timeline. Lutfri Yondri from the Bureau of Archaeology in Bandung suggested its origins are between the 2nd and 5th century CE, while Harry Truman Simonjuntak proposed a later period between the 6th and 8th century CE. Pottery fragments hinted at an even earlier existence, dating back to between 45 BC and 22 AD. However, it was the geologist Danny Hillman Natawijaja's bold hypothesis that stirred the pot of controversy. He proposed that Gunung Padang was not just an ancient structure but a colossal pyramid, its origins tracing back an astonishing 9 to 27,000 years ago. This claim suggested the presence of an advanced ancient civilization and was met with skepticism from the scientific community. His claims that Gunung Padang in Indonesia could be as old as 27,000 years is based on a combination of geological and radiocarbon dating techniques. Here's a summary of the type of evidence and methods he used to arrive at this controversial date. Radiocarbon dating. Natawijaja and his team conducted radiocarbon dating of materials found at various depths within the site. This method measures the decay of carbon-14 in organic materials, providing an estimate of age. The deeper layers of the site, where the oldest materials were presumably located, yielded dates that suggest a much older origin than previously thought. Stratigraphic studies. Stratigraphy involves analysing the layers of soil and sedimentary deposits. By examining the different layers at Gunung Padang, Natawijaja aimed to determine the chronological sequence of the site's construction and use. These studies can reveal the relative ages of different layers, indicating a timeline for the site's development. Geological analysis. As a geologist specialising in earthquake geology and geotectonics, Natawijaja also likely considered the geological context of the site, including the type of rocks and their formation, erosion patterns, and other geological features. This would help in understanding the natural processes that may have influenced the site's appearance and condition over millennia. The debate reached the highest corridors of power, capturing the attention of Indonesia's president, who established a task force to investigate further. In 2023, Natawijaja escalated his claims, publishing a paper in Archaeological Prospection, asserting that Gunung Padang was the oldest pyramid in the earth, dating back 27,000 years. But his findings, lacking concrete evidence of human activity, drew criticism and led to an investigation by the journal's publisher, Wiley. Through the passage of time, Gunung Padang remains a beacon of historical enigma, a puzzle waiting to be solved, standing as a silent witness to the ebb and flow of civilizations, its true story yet to be fully unraveled. So what do you think? Do you think this is a 27,000-year-old megalithic site like Natawijaja suggested?
This has been a Kinginati production. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, links are in the description.